Hi everyone, it's Terry here from nutsaboutsstamping.com. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a really fun friendship or maybe a birthday card idea. But what makes this card special, in my mind, is I'm going to show you a brand new bundle that's going to be available for you to order on the 3rd of June. It's part of our next annual catalog that begins in 2020 and goes through till 2021. This bundle is called Tasteful Touches, and it's paired with the Tasteful Labels dies. One of the reasons that I got this stamp set is because I loved the feather, and I haven't had a stamp set that's had a feather in a long time. I know Stampin' Up! Has had other sets with feathers, but I've just never owned one. But mainly for these images here, which I think would make really cool backgrounds on cards. And then, of course, because this is a set of labels, which I think is fabulous and can be used for way more than pairing with the Tasteful Touches stamp set. I want to start off by creating a phrase for the front of my card. I'm going to use the "You Are the Best" from the Tasteful Touches stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it in Pretty Peacock, and you'll see why in a minute. It coordinates with some new paper that I'm going to use. So I'm going to ink it up, I'm going to stamp it down, and then out of the corresponding pack of dies, I'm going to take this die and I'm going to die cut it out next. And then that is all I'm going to use my die cutting machine for. So I'll quickly get this done. Yep, I thought it had slipped. Sometimes it does. And that's going to be a phrase layer on the front of my card. There we go. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but these dies are really intricate. They have this sort of embossed line around the inside of the cut line. And there's a few dies in this pack that are like that, which I think makes it really cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is get my card set up. I've decided that my card base is going to be Whisper White, and I've cut it 8.5 by 5.5 and scored it on the 4 1/4 mark. And I'm going to introduce to you a brand new pack of Designer Series paper. This pack is called Forever Greenery, and it has lots of different greens in it, which I think make it really fun. So here's one side, and let me just take out the base here, and I'll flip it over so that you can see the other side. So I love the patterns, and I love the fact that it's all these different greens that we have in our catalog. So now is the time to stock up on all of the plain colors of cardstock that coordinate with this. I'll make sure that over on my blog, I give you a list of the coordinating colors so that you can then order them now and they're ready to go. And there's a brand new in color that's part of this pack, so you'll want to know about that as well. Now, I think what's going to make this card really fun is I'm going to do a rather unusual technique, or at least it's unusual for me. I'm going to emboss on this piece of patterned paper, and I'm going to use this image here from the stamp set. And I'm going to emboss it using Versamark and white embossing powder. So Versamark is, to me, your go-to ink for any kind of embossing you want. So I've stamped it there. I'm going to stamp it there. I'm just going to sort of measure my phrase. You can't really see what I'm doing, but that's okay. You'll see it in a minute. So I'm just going to stamp a few of these onto the front, and I think what I'll do next is I will sprinkle my white embossing powder over top so I can see where my images are that I've stamped. So I keep my embossing powder in a little plastic container with a lid, and then I tuck a spoon in so that it's always ready to go when I'm ready to go. And I'll just tap it off. Like so. I don't want a lot of stamped images on this paper. I just want it to be enough so that it's going to draw your eye and be just something a little bit unusual. I hope you can see it. Now I've got my heat tool is plugged in over on the wall, so I'll go over there and I will heat emboss and melt the embossing powder, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what this layer looks like. There is the embossed image, and you can see that it adds just a bit of contrast to the designer series paper and will coordinate really well with my phrase. Now, I want to be very upfront and honest. I got this idea from the next annual catalog. There is a sample in the catalog that is done differently than this, but provided me with the inspiration. So don't forget that you can use catalogs as inspiration as well as a wonderful shopping mall. And if you want to earn a free catalog from me, just let me know and I will tell you how. All right, so one of the colors in this designer series paper is Pretty Peacock. So I am going to add a layer of Pretty Peacock, and then I'm going to take my phrase and I'm going to put it partly on top of the Pretty Peacock and partly not. Let's try and get it straight. There we go. And then I'm going to turn this whole layer over and I'm going to adhere it to the front of my card. So I've cut it so that it should cover the front of my card completely. Okay. There we go, like so. Another little tip for you is snail adhesive is retiring. So if you want to order the replacement refills, do it before the 2nd of June because it's really available only as supplies last. Okay, I have a little bit of a bubble in here. I'm just going to pull this up a little bit. Sometimes when you heat emboss, it bubbles it up a little bit. And there we go. Now, the final thing I want to add to my card is some embellishments. So these are called the Flowers for Every Season gems, and they come in 2 different colors and I think 3 different sizes. So I'm either going to use those, or I might use up some of my From My Heart faceted gems. There's this really tiny white ones. So after the video is over, I will make a decision as to which embellishments I'm going to use, and then I'll have a photo over on my blog. If you would like to place an order for the products I used to make this card, you can head over to my blog to do so. I'll also link my online stores underneath my video, so you can just click on that and it'll take you over, and then you can shop by the product numbers or the name of the product that you want to purchase. I'm Terry. I am nuts about stamping. I hope you'll create something really fun today too. Bye for now.